I've talked about this with a couple of people over the last month or so, and it has resurfaced as I had a call with somebody that I've been listening to a lot recently as almost like a mentor. And there's basically this issue that we have in spirituality and emotional integration, just finding yourself, finding your purpose in life, which is, how do we know that by working towards our purpose, working towards our authenticity, we're not just creating another identity of an ego? So it's something that I've been thinking about for a little while now, and I feel like I have a few ideas how we should be able to tell that we're not just building another ego that's just a slightly different identity from what we believe ourselves to be now. Hello and welcome to Productively Mindful. My name is Ailandas.sulcas. I hope you enjoy your stay here. My language is not languaging today. Apologies. I hope you enjoyed this video, regardless of the non-languaging. So it's a bit of a, I guess, deep subject that I want to talk about, and it's really difficult to answer it correctly, I think, because it's quite philosophical, quite thoughty, if that makes sense. Just requires a lot of deep thinking to actually figure out what it is that we need to know, we need to notice, need to figure out to be able to tell that we're not just building upon another identity, another ego. And I feel like in order to know that we're actually doing something that's purposeful to us, that is actually going to bring us peace, happiness, joy, and contentment in life, is doing something from authenticity. But the problem with authenticity is that we don't really know what it is, because we have always been governed by the identity that we've built up throughout the history of this physical body that you're harboring right now. We're literally just reliving the history that we experienced, because that's all we know about life. We don't know anything about life that we haven't experienced yet. So because we base our experience of life on what we know already, on our identity, on our history, it's very difficult to kind of peel all of those things off, remove everything that seems to be a concept of this or that, and try and work through life without having substance of what it is that we're working through. I'm not really sure if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. We want to remove the identity that we believe ourselves to be, work through authenticity to work towards our purpose, to work towards what is actually going to give us happiness, peace, contentment, and joy from within, not from an external source. So how do we know that we're actually building upon a purpose as opposed to just building upon another identity? And there are, I guess, a few ways you'll know. First way is, I feel like you will inherently feel more if you're working through authenticity, but you will not feel more in a way that you will become those emotions, that you will become overwhelmed, absorbed by those emotions. You will be able to just be there and observe them without actually getting overwhelmed. You'll be able to just sit with those emotions, let them be, let them take their course, do whatever they need to do. And as you're observing them, as you're being them, accepting those emotions non-judgmentally, they will eventually just pass without actually creating any sort of lasting damage on you. They won't resurface stronger or anything like that. They will be just something that is part of an experience of you working towards your purpose. I also feel like the emotions that you will experience will not be seen as negative, even though they might have a negative connotation, like anger or grief or sadness, as you are living based on your identity. they instinctively just have a bad connotation. But when you're working towards a purpose, you will inevitably still have lows and ups on your path, but you will not see them as a negative experience. There will just be something that adds to the overall sense of the experience, and it will only just be positive, because whatever you're working towards, if it feels like it's your purpose, it will nourish you regardless. It will take you somewhere that's just going to give you perpetual happiness, peace, contentment, and joy in life. Some sort of a purpose. So I feel like negativity will get transformed into some sort of positivity, some sort of an opportunity to switch your perspective, incur some sort of a change in your life that's going to actually change your perspective towards what experience actually is. Not just positive and negative, but simply experience of life, simply experience of your journey. I also feel when you start working towards your purpose, you will be able to tell that you're on the right path, not just from looking within, but from the way other people react to you and how you behave and how you present yourself. Even looking at it from the scientific point of view, when you go to the very, very smallest building block of life, of everything matter, we are just essentially a clump of vibrations and frequencies. Atoms can be expressed as functions, as waves on a X and Y axis, some sort of a frequency, right? And frequencies interact with frequencies, energies interact with energies. If you start working towards your purpose and you start inevitably getting happier, more content, more at peace, more joyful, if you start discovering your authenticity, you will affect other people with that higher level of frequency, with a stronger sense of energy. You will just feel like you have more peace. It's a lot more calm to be around you. It's a lot more joyful to be around you. People just are happy and it's infectious, and they want to find out how you did it, what you're doing differently, how you've changed so much. And to you, perhaps it might seem like a very minuscule, minute change. Perhaps you might not even notice that you've changed, but it will very heavily reflect upon other people. And not just by the fact that they will tell you that there's something different about you in a good way. People will start acting differently around you. They will start working on themselves more. They will start asking to spend more time with you. It just gets infectious. It just gets very, very enticing to be around people that resonate such positivity, happiness, peace, and joy from within. Other people want more of the same. It's almost addictive. It's something that actually was very obvious when I went to the Vipassana retreat, about which I talked in one of my videos, which I'll link above and underneath if you want to check it out. But the instructors that we had these moments where we would go and sit in front of them, and they were asking us if we understand the technique, if we understand the theory behind why we're meditating the way we're meditating, etc. And then we would sit beside them and meditate for a couple of minutes. We also had interview times where we could go and ask questions. And I remember every single time I used to go and sit in front of the instructor, it was just a different feeling. It's very difficult to describe, but it was just so peaceful and calm. It just felt very safe, very, I don't even know how to explain it. It's not something that you can just feel anywhere at any time. It's a very unique experience, and you can just tell. It's almost like when somebody walks into the room and you just instantly have a bad vibe about them or a really good vibe about them. It's pretty much the same thing. But when you experience an energy or a frequency that is very, very high, very, very powerful, it is very difficult to describe, but it is infectious. You just want to be around that person more and more. You just want to almost feed off of that frequency and energy that they emit as much as possible, because it's good. It's very, very rewarding and very calming. It's very difficult to find calm and peace in these days, but yeah, you want people like that in your life. Somebody that's working towards their purpose authentically. And lastly, I feel this is important to mention because all of the things that I mentioned so far are kind of more so to do with the fact that you've been working towards a purpose for a little while now, or maybe for quite a while. But what will be very noticeable at the beginning, if you're starting to work towards your purpose that goes against your identity, your ego, the concepts that you have built up about yourself, it's going to become very obvious, because your ego or your identity is very, very much against change. It does not want to change. It wants to stay the way it is, because the way it is gives substance to it. It knows what it is, how it's supposed to act, what it's supposed to do, how it's supposed to behave. And when you start challenging those beliefs, what that ego, that identity is made out of, is going to start fighting back. It's going to start making life very uncomfortable and very unfamiliar, very daunting. So you will start getting a lot of resistance to whatever you're trying to do. And not intentionally, but subconsciously. It's going to be very difficult to fight it. And I feel like this is probably one of the main reasons why people don't end up chasing a purpose. Is because oftentimes we have such a powerful resistance to what we perhaps enjoy doing a lot, because we're inevitably resisting the act of doing, because it goes against our identity. It goes against our beliefs of who we are. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. It's going to create a turmoil of emotions and feelings. And that's where the difficult work comes in. That's where you can start using the 5-step process that I talk about all the time. That's when you can start building the understanding of concepts such as awareness, surrender, and wisdom, which also tie into those 5 steps that I talk about. And in fact, I made a video recently about those. So if you want to check it out, again, I'll link it above and underneath. And the more you build up on those things, the more you can go over them, over the whole process, over and over again. And the better you'll get at them, the less significant those emotions will become. It's a massive opportunity to grow and change. And the more you do that cycle over and over again, the better you will get, the better you will feel, the more you will be moving towards your purpose, the more joy, peace, and happiness you will feel, more content you will be. And it's just a snowball effect. You will inevitably get to that perpetual state of being at peace with where you are, content, happy, joyful. But it's a difficult journey. Not impossible, but very difficult. I hope this makes sense. I hope you find value in this video. I have a free community called the Flame Keepers, somebody who looks after their flame, which is their soul, by learning how to no longer suppress their emotions and allow them to flow freely, by understanding their emotions, by integrating them and turning them into a superpower, which in turn makes the Flame Keeper a powerful spiritual warrior. If that's something that you're interested in, the link is going to be underneath the video, so check it out. We have free daily affirmations there. We have 3 weekly themes going on that allow you to check in emotionally, tell us about your wins, also congratulate others on the wins. There's also going to be some small tools and techniques that I will be sharing every week, how you can become better at emotional integration, emotional intelligence, shadow work, spirituality, all that stuff. We have weekly group meetings. There's also a meditation bank that I'm redoing to make sure that the meditations that I provide focus on stuff like feeling some sort of sensations on the body, because that is very, very important to build awareness. And also we have exclusive monthly content, one of which will be coming out very, very soon. So If you want to check everything out, all those things, they're completely free. The link's going to be underneath. Click on it and check out the community. If you could like and subscribe, that would be a massive help, because that's going to get the content pushed out to a bigger audience. The more people see it, the more value I can give to everybody else, and the more content I can push out. Also, leave a comment. Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Do you think there's another way we can see where we're actually working towards our purpose and not just building another identity? I'm very keen to hear other perspectives towards the topics that I talk about as well. Otherwise, this has been ailandas.sulcas from Productively Mindful. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all very soon. Goodbye.